What's up everybody, my name is Matthew Stratton, helping you create music, and on this channel I do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews just like this one. If you're new here, consider subscribing. So this video is about the Akai Force. So Akai Professional, they have recently announced the Akai Force. You can see it right here in the background. To me, what this thing looks like is a combination of Ableton Live and the MPC Live. Okay, so before you get to some conclusions like, oh, they're ripping off Ableton Live. Well, you know, they've actually worked together in the past. And you can see right here, I have this controller. All right, now this is an Ableton controller. It says Ableton right there. All right, and on the back, it says Ableton Push. You can see that. It says Ableton Push. So this is a controller for Ableton Live. And if you look, this pad format is very familiar, okay? So if you look in the background here, you can see right there. All right, that pad layout and this pad layout look very, very similar. All right, so if you look right there, you can see that it says Akai. It says powered by Akai Professional. So basically, Ableton Live and Akai Professional collaborated on this unit here. So Ableton, you know, or should I say Akai, have worked together with Ableton Live. So Akai basically knows the secrets of Ableton Live, okay? So yeah, the point is, this right here, this design is Akai. So basically, if you have this, you take this grid and you combine it with this screen here, you put it like that, you get the Force, okay? As far as the hardware layout right there. All right, so I've actually used, obviously, Ableton Live in the past. And so this video, I kind of want to cover, okay, what is the Force? Can it do anything differently than what Ableton, than what, you know, my MPC Live can do? Is it even worth buying the Force over the Ableton Live? Should I sell my MPC Live and get the Force, or should I get it in addition to this? Or should I say, you know what? It doesn't even matter because the MPC Live can do what the Force can do. All right, so basically, I'm going to go through this. I'm just checking my chat here. Just want to see if anybody happens to be on here. Okay. All right, so I'll keep that going for a minute. So if you look at this thing on the Akai's website here, you can see we got this 7-inch screen here. All right, so MPC Live has a 7-inch screen. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through this, okay? They're both standalone. So the MPC Live is standalone, the Force is standalone, okay? And then you can see right here, standalone music production / DJ performance system. So the Akai's clearly marketing this to DJs. DJ performance system, okay? And you can see on here, there's an A/B, you know, switcher here. So we could set things up, certain things on A channel, certain things on B channel, and switch back and forth in between there, like a DJ would switch back and forth between their turntables, okay? So now, if you look, right here we got some scripts, and we got the cue links, okay? So these scripts look like, you know, the scribble scripts on the MPC X, and then we got the cue links, which we have on the MPC Live, okay? So right there in the center, we got the grid, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and read through this here. Standalone, no computer required, okay? 8x8 launch matrix, okay? 7-inch full capacitive touchscreen display, okay? Mic instrument Okay, so this is different. Mic instrument line inputs, 4 outputs, okay? And then mini in, out, through. So let me just go ahead and kind of compare the MPC Live with the Force on this, okay? So it's standalone, both are standalone, okay? 8x8 launch clip matrix. Okay, so the MPC Live, they don't have this launch clip matrix. There is 16 pads on here, and you can see right here, I actually have the clip demo loaded up in here, and there are clips, so I can launch clips. Okay, and that's something that obviously, if you have more pads, you're going to be able to launch more clips and have more options. So that's going to be a difference, okay? Both have the 7-inch, color touchscreen, all right? The mic instrument line inputs on the Force. So the MPC Live, it has 2 inputs, okay, and 2 are direct line inputs. And there's actually a switch so you can do your phono inputs for your turntable. But they're really only 2 inputs at a time. And in the Live, it's not really an instrument or mic input, it's just a line level input. So the Force has that up its sleeve, okay? So that kind of makes me think, okay, well, maybe this is more geared, obviously, to live performance, okay? Now, when I got the MPC, I was like, well, it has the audio tracks, it has the clips mode. In my head, I was like, it's going to be similar to Ableton Live, where I could plug in my guitar in there, record a loop, and have that keep looping, and go to the next clip, record a guitar in the next clip, and have that keep going. But it's not like that at all with the clip programs, okay, on the MPC Live. It looks like it's going to be like that on the Force, so that's definitely different, okay? So that definitely is something to consider, thinking about getting this thing, all right? And you can see here we got 4 CV outputs on this thing. All right, so that's different. The Live doesn't have any CV outputs, all right? Now, it says remix, mash up, DJ, and produce with the 6 track types. Okay, so we have audio tracks, MIDI tracks, CV sequencing, and performance capabilities. I wish they would have just put what track types were right there. All right, I'm assuming it's going to have a lot of the same track types as the MPC Live, except for it's probably not going to have clips because it already has clips. Like the whole thing looks like, if you look here, actually that's weird that they didn't show it in this picture. You would think they would put, the main screen there, but I think it's all track based or clip based. All right, so we got performance modes, including 16 drum or pad drums, note, smart scale, chords, and progressions. Okay, well, you kind of do have performance modes in the MPC Live. If you go to the menu here, we got pad perform. So you have some of that functionality right there. Obviously, you don't have that whole, all the 64 pads that the Force has, okay? Let's see, what else? Obviously, you have simple, MPC editing in the MPC, okay? We have automatic BPM detection, all right? Real-time stretching and pitch shifting. All right, so the MPC Live has that. Okay, 8 touch-sensitive knobs. All right, we got 4, knobs right here. So you get 4 more knobs. Okay, but you do get the OLED displays on there, on the Force. So that's going to be a positive for the Force. Okay, we got 4 powerful, fully editable synth engines. So MPC has 3 of those synth engines already. All right, so the only one it doesn't have is the new one, which it looks like it has, synth table, like wave tables and a bunch of stuff. I haven't really got to see too much of it yet, but all right, having a 4th, synth, it's definitely good. 16 gigabyte onboard storage. Okay, that's what the MPC Live has as well. 10 gigs of sound. MPC Live has 10 gigs of sound. Full size SSD card slot. All right, MPC Live has that. 2 USB 3.0 slots for thumb drives or MIDI controller. MPC Live has that. user expandable 2.5 SATA drive connector. MPC Live has that. So far, a lot of the things that the Force has, the MPC Live already has. So I think the main difference, obviously, are the pads. That's going to be the biggest difference as far as the hardware, it looks like. It's the pads, and you get more key links. Obviously, the button layouts is completely different. All right, it's more like it looks more like the actual, the other Ableton controller, okay? It says play, perform, produce. Okay, so this is interesting because it seems more like a performance controller rather than a production controller. From what I can see, like a live DJ performance controller. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead. I watched this video here. He kind of goes over it. I feel like these, until you really can get your hands on it, it's kind of hard to tell. All right. You got this stuff. I feel like we pretty much already read all that. So remix, okay. So you can import stems, loops, and one-shots and load them into 8x8 clip matrix. So you could do remixing, Okay, sure. Mash up, import multiple stems, then tune and time stretch your content for immense mashup potential. All right. All content syncs to your master BPM, so you'll never miss a beat. That's a good thing, right? DJ seamlessly assign tracks to Force's crossfader, load full tracks, stems, and loops to Force's 8x8 matrix. Okay. And then using the crossfader. So it looks like they already got a video right there about the crossfader. We got XY effects. MPC Live has the XY effects. It doesn't have the crossfader. It has the XY effects. All right, we got Ableton Link, which is good. I believe the MPC Live can use Ableton Link, and the Force can use the link, so you could kind of link them together, which in my head would probably be the best scenario for these things, is linking them together, okay? We got Warp, never miss a beat, thanks to Force's dual custom real-time stretch algorithms and auto BPM detection. All right, we got Q mix. All right, perfect drop. Prep your mix with dedicated Q assign controls and add a Q mixer for all audio assigned to outputs 3 and 4 or via the Q blend control on the headphone out. So that's, all right, that's decent. Again, that's still live use. So it seems like the Force is more geared for live use, okay? Which, when I got the MPC Live, I thought the MPC Live was geared more towards live use because we got the clip edits. I feel like the Force is actually filling that gap that whenever you think about the MPC Live, okay, well, it can do all this. No, the Force can do all that. It's kind of the thought process I'm having with this right now. All right, so yeah, at the heart of the Force is an intuitive clip-centric workflow. Okay, so here we go. Clip-centric workflow. All right. That forms the creative core of your performance. Again, performance, so live performance. Combine multiple modes with plugin tracks, MPC style tracks, drum tracks, audio tracks, key group tracks. Oh, so it has key group tracks. Okay, here we go. MIDI tracks, CV tracks. So we got plugin tracks, we got MPC drum tracks, we got audio tracks, key group tracks, MIDI tracks, CV tracks, 6 track types. Yeah. All right, so you don't really need like clip tracks or clip programs because the whole thing is clip-centric workflow. All right. And then it says sculpt clips via step sequencing, drum pad performance. Okay, so yeah, the step sequencer on here is definitely, when I was using the Ableton Live, that was my favorite function of the controller was the step sequencer. I didn't really care for the clip launching. I liked the step sequencing. So that could be a plus. So my question would be, can I program step sequences out and then somehow seamlessly integrate that into my MPC Live. You know what I'm saying? Those are the questions I have about this, okay? So going through, I already covered all of that there. All right, so this is the synth engine. So this is the new one. It looks like it's called the Hype. It says, cover everything from hard-hitting plucks to sultry melodic leads. All right, so multiple synth engines, wavetable, FM, subtractive, sampling. All right, and it's got a preset library. So yeah, that extra synth would be cool. Wavetable, FM, subtractive, sampling. Having all that standalone, yes. Okay. And okay, tube synth. So it has tube synth. MPC Live has tube synth. Bassline. MPC Live has bassline. And electric. MPC Live has electric. All right. So here we go. Produce. Ultimate Creative Sketchpad. Force provides musicians of all disciplines DAW-centric capability for an immersed creative experience without limitation. Without limitation. Those are kind of strong words. Obviously, there's limitations to everything. Yeah, let's see. Creative Sketchpad, but to me, if you're calling it like a sketchpad, it's not like, can you actually compose a song? Is there a song mode on this thing where I can create, obviously, you know, all right, let me start that sentence over. Can I create a song with this thing? All right, so we got clip programs, and if it's like Ableton Live, you got your clips, and all your clips go together across in a scene. So I'm assuming there's going to be scenes, but can you stream those scenes together into a song in like song mode, like the MPC has song mode? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, is this a live tool or is this a music creation tool, like to create songs with? To me, it seems more like a live tool. All right, so you got real-time sampling. Yes, real-time sampling, so that sounds good. All right, so using Force's sampler to capture audio from combo input jacks or resample within the Force. You could resample in here in the Live. Add up to 4 real-time insert effects while recording. That's really good. And assign capture audio immediately to tracks. Yes. All right, and programs all truly effortlessly live workflow environment. So this is where the MPC Live is lacking, and hopefully, since they're doing this kind of stuff with the Force, hopefully the firmware will get an upgrade on the Live to where, for example, if I go into the looper, I can record exact loops. Like right now it's set to 1 bar, so I can record exactly 1 bar. So hopefully right here there's an export button, but at this point we cannot export to like a clip program. We can only export to drum programs. So there's workarounds where you could record a loop and get it, you know, to play seamlessly. But it needs to be, you can record a loop, hit export, assign it to a clip program. So I'll hit export, or like right here where it says export, click that, go to assign, and then assign it right to that clip program. And then I can keep doing that for as many times as I want in the MPC Live. Ideally, that's what needs to happen with the MPC Live. If the MPC Live could do that, then it would be the MPC Live that I thought it could be. You know what I'm saying? Like actually be a live performance tool. Anyhow, MPC sampling edit. So obviously the MPC can have MPC sampling editing. All right. And so I'm going to assume that that's pretty much the same. All right, so we got, let's see, we got the perfect groove, so we could, looks like we can do the same kind of MIDI editing like you can in here with the grid editor. All right, we already got the grid editor here. it looks like the same kind of thing inside of the fourth. All right, we got the looper. I just showed you the looper. All right, we got the looper here. And it looks like there's like a nice looking mixer in here. So if we go to the mixer over here, all right, this is the mixer inside the MPC Live. And if you look at the one inside of the fourth, it definitely looks cleaner in the fourth. Like you have more access to more things at once. Like, I mean, you can get to everything here, but you have to like click or tap on the actual channel to get the channel strip to come up. But on the fourth, everything's lined up. So that's definitely an improvement, all right? But for hopefully, from what I understand, is the MPC Live and the Force kind of have the same, you know, the background, you know, programming. So it might be a simple update to get the Live to look like that. So maybe when they come out with the Force, they'll do an update for the Live to get some of these simple GUI upgrades, okay? But you can also, in the mixer here, it says you can assign your X, or your, what am I trying to say, your A and B to the crossfader. So that's good there. And it comes with, you know, I'm sure they're different sounds than the MPC Lives, but it comes with, you know, 10 gigabytes. It says loops and 500 patterns. So you get 2,500 loops and 500 plus patterns, 16 demo projects, all right, and 248 kits. Kits of what? I'm not really sure. It doesn't really specify. All right. But yeah, obviously more sounds is good. Now the MPC Live isn't getting that update to the sound library like the MPC users are getting. So that's kind of a bummer for the Live users, but it is what it is, okay? And apparently it's coming soon, okay? You can control Ableton Live with it. Apparently it says control Ableton Live track, you know, 6 guitar. So, I mean, it doesn't really show a lot of things here, but right here, so it seems like the main window is going to look like what's on the screen here in the center, where it's basically Ableton Live clip launching, all right, but with the MPC brains as far as the MPC programs, which in my thought is really good. That could be a really, really good thing, all right? Because I know when I was using Ableton Live, I was trying to use like Machine with Ableton Live and trying to get, you know, just to get those, you know, features of like a drum machine and trying to get those two to sync up and channeling all the audio tracks and the MIDI tracks. It was just a headache to do. And then inside of Ableton Live, even if you learned how to do that, like trying to launch clips and have like the Machine sound engine, it was just like too many things going on. So you're trying to use Machine, you're trying to use clip mode, and then you have to use the other mode. There's like 3 different modes of trying to make a song. But if you can just focus on one mode, like the clip launch mode, and then have the sampler of the MPC Live, that would be great. All right. And then once you're done with your scenes, say you make like 8 scenes, and one's like the intro, one's the chorus, one's the bridge, you know, one's an outro, you know, or whatever kind of sections you want. If you could kind of export those scenes into sequences and then put those sequences into Live and be able to go into song mode inside of Live and sequence those out, I think that would be a great way to kind of do this. And then that way you could kind of use the Live as a, you know, as an organizer to, and then you can just bounce your stems out of the Live, bring them into whatever you want, you know, your software, if you decide to do that, and master them inside of the software. I think that could be a good thing, for sure. But we got to see, you know, how it's actually going to work. I don't think the demos really showed how this thing could work. And I watched a few videos of people, beta testing this, but I haven't come across somebody actually making a full song yet. But if anybody has, just let me know what to search for, and because I would like to see somebody actually sculpt out a whole song with this thing, because you can sculpt whole songs on the MPC. Obviously, you could set your scenes up and perform and then record that live into your software or onto a recorder. But, it is what it is. All right, so specifications, we got 64 velocity, impressor sensitive pads, got 8 360 touch sensitive knobs. All right, we got one 360 encoder. All right, it's got the data dial that the MPC Live has. It's got 270-degree knobs for gain, mixing, and level adjustments. Okay. 5 270-degree knobs. I didn't see. Where are those knobs? I don't know where those knobs are. Let's look at the back of it. All right. So the level, if you look at all right, let's look at the top. So right here, we got a master level, and then we got the data dial. Okay, and then we got the crossfader. If you look at the back of it, here's all the inputs, outputs, and everything like that. We got a gain for the input. It's got an instrument/line input, which is nice. And that's something the Live doesn't have, but the Live does have the RCA inputs. But the Live also has line level inputs. So simply getting something like a DI box, if you wanted to play your guitar into there, spend 40, 80 bucks on a box, and it can convert the signal for you, and you can get a nice clean signal, and you'd be able to record and loop and everything inside the MPC Live, no problem. That's not a big deal. I don't think having instrument level inputs is worth spending an extra 1,500 bucks. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, to get this opposed to the MPC Live. All right. But it does have CV gate. You don't have that on the Live here. Okay. Now the MIDI, I kind of wish it had like the bigger MIDI connections, because these little ones, it seems like it'd be easier just to, if you're on the stage or getting crazy, to knock one out. But I mean, it's MIDI, so it'll work. So they only have so much room to put stuff on here. All right, but right here it says link, so that, from my understanding, is for DJs. All right. Yeah. All right, so that is what it is. So I haven't even been looking at the chat, y'all. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good little conversation over there. I'm just trying to cover some of this, trying to give you some insight into, like, someone who uses the MPC Live. Is the Akai Force really worth getting? Honestly, is it worth it? Now, obviously, it's going to depend on your circumstance. I think it could be worth getting for live performance, if nothing else, and it could be good for, composition. I don't know. But it does, you can see right here, it has XLR inputs, and it does have 48 volt, okay, on the input. So you could plug in a condenser microphone right into the Force, which you can't do that on Live, but again, that's something that could be solved with a mic preamp or a direct, DI box to kind of transform the signal. Again, that's less than $100. You could fix that on the Live. So I mean, if you look, okay, $100 compared to $1,500 to solve like an input issue, that's not that big of a deal. All right. So really, what can this thing do that Live cannot do? It could have the performance mode. Obviously, if you look at these pads here, this matrix, looks like they're calling it, it's going to have way more capabilities for performance you know, if you want to get the different scales. Because if you look at the performance mode over here, or pad perform, we only got 16 pads, okay? But you can do a lot with it. So, you know, you got your chords, you got your notes, chromatic chords, you know, there's a lot you can do already on the live. It's just you don't have that matrix. Now, it would be cool if you could just take this, right? Take this thing here, just plug it into the MPC, and have all those performance modes on this thing, from here to there. Just and have all those performance controls. I think that would be a neat option. Now, to me though, the sequencer on this thing would definitely be where it's at. I really liked being able to sequence inside the Ableton Live with this thing, because like there's a couple different modes how you can sequence, but one of the modes was these 4 strips, these 4 lines were sequence, like the sequencer, and you select the pad down here for what you want to sequence, and I think over here was like the level, like how loud you want it to be. I don't remember all the details because it's been a while since I used this, but like you select your pad, like your kick drum, and then you can sequence it. So that's going to be a plus about the Force for sure. Yeah. All right. So, hey, what's up, everybody? So, what's up, everybody in the chat there? I'm glad the little chat's going because I want to see. Really, I just want a discussion to get going on this thing because I want to know what you guys think about it. I'm trying to give you my input, give me some feedback, you know what I mean? And when the thing is done, when the stream is done, you know, leave some comments, maybe leave some resources, you know what I'm saying? Because this thing comes out, I believe the February 2nd, I think this thing's supposed to come out. $1,500 US American dollars. You know, I think it definitely has its pluses, all right? But to me, it's not worth getting this over the MPC Live. Because I'm going to tell you the number one reason for me personally is you see this main mode, this is what it's about. One sequence at a time. You work on one part of your track at a time. All right, you want to work on your chorus, you work on your chorus. That's all you're working on. On this thing up here, all right, look, if you look at all the clips up there, you're working on like 8 sequences at a time. To me, that's kind of one of the issues I had with Ableton Live is like I'm trying to compose 8 different things all at once, and I wasn't able to really focus on one part at a time. And the MPC Live gives me the ability to focus on one part at a time, or one section at a time, I should say. Like I can focus on just the chorus of a song at a time, or just a break of the song at a time. To me, that's where the MPC Live would trump any kind of clip launching. Now, if this thing had some way to integrate with the MPC Live where I could basically, like I was saying, be on a sequence and have a sequence correlate to a scene, that would be awesome in my head. That would be somehow seamlessly integrate that where I could have my sequences here where I can focus on one thing at a time, but over here kind of have an expanded view of it and be able to focus on different parts or different tracks from different sections of the song and be like, okay, well, I'm going to pull this part or this audio clip from this track into this sequence and have my sequences line up to my scenes. So basically the sequences equal scenes. You know, the scenes on the Force be the same as the sequences on the MPC. To me, that would be worth getting. If it had the ability to do that, I would buy this thing. I would sell like half of my other gear, get the $1,500 and buy this thing. All right. That's my opinion on it. What's up, 200 records a day? I like that. Sequence into scene mode. Yes. That is, to me, that's the biggest thing. If we could have sequences to scenes, I think that would seal the deal for me. I would be like, I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wouldn't get rid of my MPC Live because me in this MPC Live, we are together. We are in this thing together. Even if they gave a choice to export to scene, you know, to the live users, I stay with my live. Yeah. But these are my kind of thoughts and ideas on it. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I think it's cool that they are coming out with this new kind of way to work. All right, but I'm just trying to understand, okay, I came up with my 8 scenes. How do I record that into a song? Is there going to be a song mode on this thing? Can I push record in song mode and basically launch my clips, boom, 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 and have those clips record into song mode like you can on Ableton Live? Like, because on Ableton Live, you can record a performance, have that performance go into the other side of Ableton Live, which is more like a traditional DAW, and kind of edit and tweak things from there. To me, if you could do that on this thing, it would definitely be worth, it would definitely persuade me into buying this thing, or at least getting a little bit closer to wanting to buy this thing. But, all right, MPC updates. MPC updates. So, from my understanding, because I've been reading a lot, I'm on a lot of the Facebook forums and stuff. I don't know anybody at Akai, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, I talked to somebody at Akai and they said this and this and this. But I've been reading on the Facebook forums, our Facebook groups, and the different forums online. And it sounds like the firmware on the MPC Live has the same kind of background architecture as the firmware on the Force. So if you were able, so what I'm trying to get to is, it sounds like they're going to update both of the systems at the same time in the future. So if the Force gets a kind of an update, the MPC Live should get an update. From what I understand. So, and you know, that being said, I mean, there's nothing as far as the software side that the MPC Live, you know, I think they should be able to do the same thing if that's the case. And like, you know, that nice fancy mixer, maybe that mixer will be able to come over here to the MPC Live and we can have that nice clean looking mixer here. Because this, I mean, it's functional and it works, but I don't find myself wanting to come here to do mixes. I'll just do that straight from here. And, you know, I'll go through my tracks this way and I can have, you know, the track mix here. And I could mix things right here. So there's really, you know, no need to go into the mixer over here because there's nothing to compare them to. Now, if we had the mixer of the Force on here, you could definitely look at your levels all at once and kind of compare and mix it from this screen. And that would make more sense to come to this screen because you could see all your programs on here at once. And yeah, but you know, in the end, it comes down to how is the user going to use it? Is it going to make somebody more creative? Oh, didn't want to unplug my camera. Kind of got my computer down there. Is having the Force going to make you more creative than you are on the MPC Live? Is having the Force going to, you know, get you to create more music? Then, you know, get the Force. But the problem is now is you just have people demoing it that aren't making full songs. So what's cool about like YouTube right now with the MPC Live, you could go on there and see users who are actually using it and they're not getting paid and they don't have any incentive. They don't have the demo unit. They're not beta testing it. They've paid money for it, and they're like real end users of this device. So they're giving you their honest workflow and opinions. Now with the Force, you got beta testers, and you have people that work for Akai putting out videos right now. And how much can you judge how good this is, off of these people? I mean, obviously they're showing you stuff, and you can kind of put together the workflow. But I don't feel like it's 100%, like you're going to 100% get the full, like pure end user feedback. If somebody's making a video for Akai, like, you know what I'm saying, and putting it on their website. All right. But hopefully Akai is like, okay, we need to show love to our current users and not just focus on this new product we got and then, put all our resources into that. Because I can already hear in my head, like, why are they coming out with a new thing? Why is Akai coming out with a new thing when they haven't even fixed all the issues in the MPC Live? But the thing is, the new thing runs on the same background platform, from what I understand. So some of the bugs that are in the Live are probably going to be in this thing. I feel like the Force is not going to be like a complete thing. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff locked down, right? And they got a lot of features locked down and into it, but they're going to keep updating it. Like, for example, like with the MPC Live, you couldn't do plugins in standalone mode a few months ago, but now you can. Like, MPC Live is continually being updated. So hopefully they'll continue to update the Live, and they'll continue to update the Force, and not too much attention will get put on the Force and take the love away from the Live and the X. All right, obviously the Live and the X got the same firmware, so. Anywho's. Right here, the Grand Unchallenged Sword says, I believe the Live and the Force will communicate somehow. And Akai and Ableton have had a long relationship. The Force reflects this. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I don't think, it's not like Akai is like stealing anything from Ableton. They work together, like I was showing you. They work together. This is a Akai product, but it says Ableton on it, right? It says Ableton here, and it says Akai here, all right? So it's not like Akai is like stealing anything, but I definitely think having some of the Ableton capabilities with Akai MPC programs could be a really good thing. Like having drum programs in Ableton, because if you're an MPC user, you're already used to the programs, like drum programs and stuff like that, and you can have that standalone. You can have that standalone, and you can have the clip standalone. And the drum programs, from what I saw, you can actually access what it looks like 4 different banks at once. Instead of just having one bank, you could access bank A through D with that grid edit, which definitely would be an improvement to access that. If you're composing, if you're not just doing finger drumming, or even if you are doing finger drumming. But these pads on here are really clean. These are really nice. They feel really good. I don't know what those pads are going to feel like for live drumming and stuff like that. But having that 4 banks at once in your face could definitely be functional, for performing and composing. All right. All right. Yes. All right. So, yeah, the Akai Professional Force, definitely going to be a good thing. As an MPC user, when I look at this picture here, you can see this, and I see a bunch of boxes on the screen, and that's going to be the main mode. That doesn't look appealing to me as an MPC user. But for somebody who's into clip launching, that might look really appealing. Like, I don't know, because in my head, I always want to convert everything into what a sequence is. Like, scenes to sequence would be really good. Scenes to sequence. There's got to be a way where this thing could communicate with the MPC. Anywho, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this thing, would you guys buy this and sell your live? Or buy this and sell your MPC X? Would you buy the Force and sell your MPC Live? Would you buy the Force and sell your MPC X? What do you think? I mean, is it going to be that strong of a unit? Or would you buy this and use it with your MPC Live? Or buy this and use it with your MPC X? I think I will likely eventually buy one. I don't know if I buy one on launch because I would have to sell a lot of my equipment to get it. But maybe after a few months when people are selling these things for like, $1,000 online because they bought it and were like, wow, this thing doesn't work for me. I'm going to sell it used on eBay. I might buy one then and use it with my MPC Live. Because really, I'm still learning the MPC Live. So it's kind of hard for me to justify getting that thing brand new. Because now I'm going to be spending a lot of time with the Force over learning the MPC Live and producing music with the MPC Live. And I already know the MPC Live works for me. And I don't know if the Force is going to work for me. So I don't know if I want to spend that much time with the Force and it just not work for me and just be a complete fail. And then I just wasted all that time when I can work with the MPC Live. All right. And the MPC software acts as a plugin within Ableton Live. That is correct. So all that being said, I would like to see on the update for the MPC Live, like the next update. This is my unofficial user request. I'm probably going to put out a user request for this. So since they have clip launching like this, where you could launch a clip and then go to different areas inside of the Force and still be able to use it, I would like to see that in the MPC. It makes no sense to where if I don't have my headphones, so I can't really hear it. But whenever you launch a clip, like if I go to a new sequence and I launch this clip, or you know what I'm saying? If I launch a clip in a new sequence and I go somewhere else, the clip dies. It just dies. It makes no sense to me. So I would like to see the ability, one, to be able to launch that clip and then go somewhere else and, you know what I'm saying, do something somewhere else and not have that clip die or just stop playing. That's number one. And number two, there has to be a way for maybe in the looper where you can record your like a live, some kind of live audio and go to export or go to assign that to your clip program. So when you come over here to your clip program, whatever you recorded will be assigned to a pad or one of the clips, and then keep doing that and keep being able to layer 16 different audio tracks inside a clip launch sequence. So you can have a true live performance module. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's kind of what, when you hear clip launching in the MPC Live, that's kind of how I pictured it. And whenever you get it and you can't do that, I've seen a lot of users upset about that. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And there's certain things inside the MPC Live that don't make sense like that. And that's one of them. That's like huge. You should be able to launch a clip, have that clip go, and then be able to record audio and have as many clips as you want of audio going, and then be able to switch in between them. You know what I mean? That's just how I think about it. Maybe I'm wrong here, but that's what I would like to see. What do you think about that? I, That's Oakley says, I tried using it as a plugin within Ableton, but got no joy. Hear you. I tried using the plugins inside of Pro Tools, inside of Ableton. It's just not the same as using it standalone. There's just something about it. And then you have to try to route, like, because you can't really see them, but I have like an analog 4 over here. I have my Blofeld over here, and I have my MIDI outs going to these external devices, and I like to sequence things inside of the MPC Live, inside of here. So I like to go in here, pick a MIDI track, and it come in here and sequence things, right? Boom, boom. I could sequence things inside the Live. That MIDI's going out into my Blofeld, and then the audio is coming out of my Blofeld. You can't really do that with the plugin. I mean, you can do it, but then you have to like have all this convoluted routing through your whatever your DAW is, and it's just too complicated, and it's not just. I just want to be able to use this thing standalone and perform and compose, and using it as a plugin, you don't get that same kind of joy because you can't just route MIDI out, boom, into here. You have to go into your Ableton and then route MIDI out, MIDI from the software plugin to MIDI into the Ableton, into MIDI out of Ableton into your hardware. It's just it's not the same. It's not the same because there's more to the MPC Live than just the drum programs and being able to sequence drum programs. All right. Anyways, this is kind of how I feel about things. Looking at this thing, it's definitely. I'm not going to say it's not going to be good. Obviously, I think it's going to have success. I think the Akai Professional Force will be successful. I think it will be successful. I would just, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this is going to affect the updates on the MPC Live and the MPC X, because, like I was saying, I think the Akai Professional MPC Force is more geared to live performance than the MPC Live is, in clip launching and DJs, things like that. Now, if you use Ableton Live and you're like, oh, I want to go standalone, it might work for you. I don't know. But as an MPC user, I don't really see it as being superior than the MPC. I really don't. It's not, to me, it's not a reason to be like, oh, I'm selling my MPC Live so I can get $800 to fund half of the Akai Force. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, I think, and on top of that, now, I don't know what kind of limitations you're going to have because I believe the Force has 2 gigabytes of RAM, just like the MPC Live. So I don't think you're going to get too many more performance capabilities as far as loading audio tracks, because the MPC Live has, like, you could do 8 audio tracks, but if you look at Tube Digger's video where he loaded up 8 audio tracks and he just basically overloaded it, and then the audio kind of acts funny. So is the Force going to act the same way? Say I have like a super live set, and I have all these different plugins and audio tracks going, and I want to just do like a 2-hour live set, 3-hour live set, and I just want to have that one thing going. Is it going to overload it with 2 gigs of RAM? There's certain things that, end users need to test, because I think the end user is going to give you the real picture. I think, because Akai, they're marketing their business. They want you to buy it. Obviously, they want you to make music with it, but they're also, they know that there's a lot of users that are going to buy it, and they're not going to have any idea what to do with it. And they just want, they want to sell these things because they're a business, right? So they're going to market it how they market it and make it look good. And a lot of people are going to buy it, and they're going to be like, this doesn't do anything I thought it did. Which, I mean, that's business, you know what I'm saying? That's not like, I'm not saying they're a bad company for doing that. It's just how it works. Just like the MPC Live, a lot of people bought the MPC Live. Oh, this is all I need. Boom, boom. And then you see hundreds of users disappointed in the forums, selling it online because it just doesn't do what they thought it would do. You know, you don't even have, like, you don't have multi-timbral. You think, okay, MPC is going to have multi-timbral capabilities. It doesn't have that. You can't change your BPM mid-sequence. You know, there's certain things about the MPC Live that you think it should be able to do out of the box. For example, I could like play a clip program and then change into a new track and have that clip program still play. Like there's certain things that it doesn't do that it should do. You would think it would do, and it doesn't. So I think the Force will probably be the same kind of way. And a lot of people are going to buy this thing and they're going to be like, oh, I can do this, this, and this. And then it's not going to do that. It's not going to do what they think it could do. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the future, but I kind of can speculate. And if it's anything like how the MPC Live was, there's going to be some upset users with the Force. And, you know, that's just the way it is. And then Akai is going to take that feedback and they're going to make either the Force better or the Live better, or, you know, and come out with some new products. Anyway, that's just me ranting about it. That's just rants. There's no static, you know, there's no statistics I'm looking at. This is just me observing users and forums and the comments I get on my videos, everything like that. All right, all right. All right. So, yeah, and the Force doesn't have the battery. And so, you know, I really do like having the capability to take my Live out into the living room, even just into the living room, and sitting down with it just outside of all the other equipment and just focusing on that thing, be able to come out with grooves and fine tune things, and mainly be able to learn, because I learn on this thing more than I'm producing music right now. But I like to be able to get this thing out, get the iPad out, sit it next to it, and have that battery power going, and look at the manual for the MPC Live and just learn. And then I could learn and then tweak the different programs and do things away from the studio, because you feel, or at least personally, like when I get away from the studio, there's not like, oh, I have to use this piece of gear and use this piece of gear with this and this. I got to use all this. I have it. I got to use it. No, you could just focus. You could like fine tune. That's why I like the Live so much, because you could really focus in on it, right? You could focus one sequence at a time. You could focus on what the box can do, what the MPC Live can do, and not really have to focus on what all your other gear can do. And especially with the new plugins it has, I can come over here and, you know what I'm saying, go into Tube Synth over here, and I don't have to worry about connecting to other synths. Now, you know, and I can program right there on the box away from the studio. That's one of the good things about the Live. And that little switch, 48 volt phantom power, changes to Akai standalone gain, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, I forget. I think the X has it's standalone and has phantom power. Pretty sure. But let's see. Thank you for the expansion pack. Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate that. Comment right there. I definitely want to do more of those expansion packs too, so don't think I haven't forgot about that. So like, because I kind of want to sample some different things just in the studio and put them out on the expansion packs and stuff like that. And I know whenever I had the MPC, I was like, oh man, I want to know what this drum machine sounds like and this and that. So like just sampling the analog rhythm and getting those sounds out there for people, you know, so people can have those sounds. I really like that because I was having a hard time just trying to find those sounds. But and also there's some different effects on there too. And there's actually three different things on that expansion pack. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but anyway, they're two different things, like this, like Grand Unchallenged Sword says. They're definitely two different things. So they're gonna, you know, I think the Akai is more advertised for like people who want to sample. Like the MPC Live's for more people, like they got the RCA inputs, right, or the phono inputs. So people who want to get their records and sample and do sampling like that. I think the Force is more like they're advertising more for DJs and live performance. Obviously, you could do whatever you want with either one of them. You could do whatever you want with either one of them. So it's whatever works for you. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right. That's kind of my breakdown. Let me go ahead and see what other notes I have. All right, and like I was saying, there's a lot of hype about the Force right now because it's a new thing. It's like the new thing. Standalone clip launching. You know, it's the new thing. And not only is it standalone clip launching, but the whole thing's based on standalone clip launching right there. So hopefully the MPC Live will get an upgrade to the clip launching features here. I really hope so. I really, really hope so. But I mean, should I sell someone like gear to get this thing? I don't know. What do you think? I would really like to see if it did have a convert sing the sequence thing in there. That would be really cool to see. All right. Now the MPC Live doesn't have an instrument input or a mic with phantom power input, but like I was saying, you can get a DI box or some kind of preamp and convert the signal and plug it in, spend 40, 80 bucks. That's not that big of a deal. It's not worth 1,500 bucks to have that option. You know, when you can solve it for 40, 80 bucks, something like that. So that's that. Now it does have the hard drive. The MPC Live has the expandable hard drive. The Force has the expandable hard drive. I'm pretty sure they're going to get updates. Like, pretty sure, I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody, but I speculate that the MPC Live is going to have some updates once this thing launches. It's going to have some nice updates. I think the 2.3 was a huge update. I really do. I really like the 2.3 update. Yeah. Sell some gear that I ain't using. You know what? I need to do that anyway, regardless if I get it or not. Make some room. Sell some gear, make some room. But the thing is, I don't want it to distract me from the MPC Live because I still want to map this thing out. I want to learn everything I can about this thing because I think it has so much more potential than I'm actually using it for, you know. But anywho, thanks for watching, you guys. I don't know. That's kind of my thought process on it right now. I don't know that if you have an MPC Live that you should get this thing. But if you have the MPC Live and it's not working for you, maybe you want to get this thing to try something else. I really like the fact that it uses drum programs. You could sample onto it like this and stuff like that. Hey Matt, what do you do? What do you have to do to prep the Live to install the SSD drive? Is it just plug it in and go? No, it isn't plug it in and go. I have a video explaining what you have to do with the SS drive. Maybe I'll put it in the link of the description at the end of this, or just look at my channel or search SSD drive, MPC Live, Matthew Stratton or something. Because you have to format the SSD drive. That's why. So basically you got to plug it into your, you can install it. So basically what I did is I installed the SSD drive. I plugged the MPC Live into the computer with the USB cable, put it into controller mode, and you can access the SSD drive on there and format it with your OS. And then once you format it, then you'll have access to everything in the SSD drive. But at least for the one I had, the Samsung, you had to format it first. But yeah, other than that, once you format it, you just plug it in there, and then it recognizes it. So then, once it's in there, you just go to the menu and it recognizes it. And it's just like you're plugging in a SD card, or you're plugging in a USB drive. It just shows up there. And you can add folders to it. You could add a sample folder. You can add program folders. All that right there inside of the browser. So that's all you had to do. Anywho's, you know what? I want to take this time. If you have any more last minute questions, I want to wait maybe another couple minutes. Maybe I'll answer some of them. I haven't been looking at the chat the whole time. Hopefully there's some good stuff going on in there. I'll look at the last few comments here. Sorry, Matt, can you tell me one function that the Live has that the Force doesn't and you can't live without? Well, I'll say it again. This screen right here is what the Live has. This screen right here. You could focus on one sequence at a time. Now, and the reason why I'm saying this, because you can see, I've got Ableton Push. I have the full license of Ableton Live. And I've tried to use this clip mode. And there's too much going on. Like, you're working on this sequence, you're working on this row, and you're working on this. You got to focus on all this at once. All right? So that's kind of the thing that has built into the Force is going to be like, the main mode is clip launch mode, where the MPC Live is basically you could focus on one sequence at a time. That's why I like the Live so much. Well, other than all the other awesome features, but that's as far as like getting in there and producing. That's why I like it so much, because you could focus on one sequence at a time. Once you get all your sequences that you want, you could stream them into song mode. I don't know if there's a song mode on the Force. I don't see anything that says song mode, and I don't see anything that says you hit record and you can play your clips out and then print it into a song. So that's, to me, that's why the MPC Live is going to win as an MPC user. All right. Now you do also in the Live, you got more outputs, 2 more outputs. You also have another MIDI out in the Live. So for example, how I have my Live connected right now, I have the MIDI cable going into my Pro Tools rig. So whenever I hit play here, it starts Pro Tools, or whenever I hit play on Pro Tools, it starts the Live. I could have it go either way. And then on top of that, I have another MIDI thing going into my MIDI box where I can have 16 channels of MIDI going out to all of my stuff. So I have more MIDI out options. All right. And what else can the Live do that the Force can't? Because this is what I want to know. What can the Force do that the Live can't? That's kind of like the point of this video, really. Mix. So it has this nice, pretty little mixer. This updated mixer definitely looks better. And not like I was saying, if you look at the mixers on the Live, you can't see what every different channel is doing at once as far as the levels. So you can't really get a big picture of what all your levels are doing at once, where it looks like you can on the Force. Now, for my understanding, the MPC Live might get this update so we can have this kind of mixer, all right? You know, what else? I know, you tell me. Because I really want to know too, because I definitely think this thing's going to be successful. But I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. Anywho's, and I also read in one of the Facebook forums is there's a certain issue with the new hype synth. They weren't able to put that on the live for some reason with the RAM issues and stuff like that. Now I haven't talked to this guy, but there's been talk about how they're trying to get the hype synth to be able to load onto like your SSD, you know, your SS drive. That way you can access all those wavetables and be able to use the hype synth in the MPC live, which would be good. So you know, let's talk about what the Force can do that the live can't. One, it can have clip launching. It has clip launching. Now the live has clip programs, but they're not anything like that. All right. So 2, the Force has instrument and mic inputs. Yes. 3, the Force has the A/B slider there. All right. So that's good, right? These are the things that the Force has. And the Force has that advanced performance mode. These are like some of the main things that are different, where that's definitely going to be a good thing. Being able to pick a scale and then play all the notes in that scale. Another thing is the step sequencer on the Force. Now it looks like it's using the same kind of sequencer, but you're going to have access to all those pads to be able to sequence, instead of having, if you look here, this sequencer where you only have 16 pads. The Force is going to be able to have 64 pads to be able to try to sequence on. All right. Luke in line says, I wish I could plug my Telecaster into into the live and be able to play. And right, you would think you would be able to do that, but like I was saying, if you buy a box, like I'm thinking a direct box, like a DI box, you could plug your low impedance cables in, or your high impedance cables and make them low impedance. Spend $40 on that, and be able to get your guitar in there. So I don't think spending $1,500 is worth it. I think you can plug your, you know, just buy the DI box and an extra cable, and you should be good to go there. All right. I don't know. I feel like they might update the GUI more on the MPC, because if you look, they already updated the effects. You know what I'm saying? They've already updated the effects. And they've already, you know, if you look at the synthesizers, they're up, you know, obviously they're new, but they still have that updated look. They could have just put synthesizers on there without this fancy interface, using the old MPC knobs like this kind of knob, right? So you got that, and so that's pretty much it, you know. Anyway, should I get the Force? Like, tell me some good things about the Force. I want to hear more. Like, what can the Force do? Let me know in the comments at the end of this video. Let me know in the comments, and we'll get into it. I think I'm likely eventually will get it. I just don't know how soon. I might wait till, you know, people are selling it on eBay for, you know, $500 less than what they bought it for. Like, they're selling the lives on eBay for like $800, $850, $900. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be that aftermarket, that you know, that people who buy it and they're like, oh, this isn't what I thought, so they sell it. Or this doesn't work for me, and they're selling it. So I might wait until that happens and buy it for cheaper. Or, you know, if I can get a convincing enough argument in the comments, I might get rid of some of my gear that I'm not using. I'll probably get rid of it anyway, but I might take some of that money and buy this force. All right, guys, thanks for all the chatting that's going on. I appreciate that. I appreciate everything that's going on. Yeah, the force, also, that's another thing the force can do, is act as an Ableton Live controller. So if you do use Ableton Live, you do have those advanced options there. All right. Anywho's, the force seems to be more user-friendly. Yeah, I think they're trying to update the workflow. So it's basically they're kind of taking some of the MPC things like drum programs and key group programs, and they're putting it in a more user-friendly platform, I guess you could call it that. I don't necessarily care for the clip launching that much, but a lot of people who came into the Ableton Live and are used to clip launching will probably feel right at home on this thing, you know? Train going by, that's always fun. Yeah, man, I do. I make do with my Vox amp. Okay, yeah, or Audio 6. Right. Yeah, you know, you're right about that. It would be nice. And that's one of the, I think, that's where Akai has learned, is they put the instrument freaking inputs into this thing, because they learned, okay, well, maybe people do want to plug their guitars into the unit. All right. I think the MPC Live 2 should have the instrument input and the mic input. Like if this thing had that, I agree that it would make the Live a little bit more valuable. Okay. It looks like a mini MPC module on top and the push 2 smashed together. It's too much money for a live use. Bet it would crash. Yeah, I don't know if it would crash. Haven't tested it. I mean, but like, look at this thing. So you got the push, you put the push underneath here, and yeah, you basically, you know, you switch some of the things around that's on the push, kind of bring it in a little bit, and you effectively have the force, you know, with the MPC Live. You change the classic MPC user interface to the clip launch interface, and then you got the force. So that's pretty much that, you know. Yeah, the force has more hands-on control. You know, and this, you know, being able to see the LEDs on the push, on the force, is definitely an upgrade. You know what I mean? I think it would be neat to be able to take this thing and just plug it into the MPC Live and then have all the functionalities of the force on the MPC Live. But I don't know that would be possible, or, you know. So it's too much money for a live user. Yeah, it's a lot, like $1,500 in addition. It is a lot of money. Like if the Live was like $1,000 and then this thing was maybe $1,200, then you're spending the same amount as for an MPCX, and then that might be a little more reasonable. And then you have the functionality, you know, use Ableton Link to kind of combine the two, you know, so they sync up together. You know, that could be a good thing. You know what I mean? That way you have your pads, so you could do your live drumming, and then you can do your clip launching. But all right. So yeah, I think I want to get out of here. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it through, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who's liking the channel. I'm definitely, the thing is, I don't want the force to distract me from the live. right now. So that's another reason why I'm like, I don't want to get the Force, because I really want to dive into the live. I really want to map out this thing. I really want to know everything about it. I'm really curious to see what updates they're going to have on the live now that this thing is out, because they definitely made the user interface look a little cleaner on the Force. They updated that mixer. They updated a lot of different things on the Force that are like, look like they're directly from the live or the X, and they just put it on that Force. But they changed the way it looks a little bit, and it could be a really good thing. Anywho, thanks for all the likes, the comments, everything like that. I appreciate you guys. I want to get off of here so I can go ahead and I want to do another video. I'm thinking about doing another video on the beat step and how to actually interact with the beat step with the synthesizer, using the knobs on the synthesizer, because that's another thing about the live, is you can use other different things to kind of make up for some of the missing capabilities that the Force has, and the MPCX has. You could, use some other devices with the live. All right. Yeah, I can't wait for 2.4, for sure. Anyway, I want to get to that video, and I also want to do another video in my series. I kind of want to touch on MPC projects, because I think if people have a better understanding of what an actual project is inside of the MPC, you can see right here we got projects. All right, if people had a little bit better understanding of what the projects were, it would definitely help out. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into that. So be on the lookout for those new videos again. And you think I will buy the Force and will remind you of today? Yeah, I don't doubt that statement. I don't doubt it. I just don't want it. I just don't want it to take away from my live, because I really like the live. Anyway, be on the lookout for the new videos about the MPC. I want to go ahead and get on there, and I might do another quick jam this week. Akai should send me one. I agree. They should send me one. I would definitely take it. And I would definitely do tutorials on it, so I think it would be beneficial for both of us. But I don't know Akai like that. I don't have that relationship with Akai like that. Can you record automation on the Force? I don't know if you can record automation on the Force. I assume you can record automation on the Force. I don't know. I don't see any automation button. But it's probably in there somewhere. Trying to see if it says automation on the thing. But you could definitely record automation with the MPC Live right there. Right there, you just tap that to red, to right, and you got automation. Or right here, tap that to right, you got automation. You know what I mean? Anywho, be on the lookout for those videos. Let me know in the comments if you find any arguments to buy the Force, because I really do want to buy it, but I got to get that in justification. I just got to know, like, yes, you should buy it for this and this and this. All right, guys, let me go ahead and find my mixer over here. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe if you're new, all that stuff. Like the video, share the video. I got all kinds of videos. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, guys. I'm working on a website too, MatthewCreating.com, and I'm going to go ahead and update that as I go. It's kind of like a base. I'll go ahead and show it to you while I'm here. It's got like a base. Got a base format. I want to be updating it as I go, but I just got different things. All right, I got some SoundCloud. Got my SoundCloud on there, right there, so you can hear some of my songs. You can go to SoundCloud/MatthewCreating and hear some of my stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, man. I want to be updating my SoundCloud too. I'm trying to get more and more out there, kind of get established a little bit. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. Go ahead, go to SoundCloud, follow me on there, like some of my songs, you know what I'm saying? I sure do appreciate it. My name is Matthew. Continue to create, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.